Women's Council leaders. This is Jamie Zigarelli, 2020 president of the Houston Bay Area Houston Network here in Texas. And I'm coming to you to demonstrate part 2 of a 3-part series on an app that our network is using to connect with our members and our sphere of influence here in the Texas area. So what you're looking at here on the screen is the login portal for CardTap. CardTap is the company that we are using that hosts and sets up the basic website for our app, the app that we're using. I want to show you a couple of things about this app. So in part 1, I reviewed the app, the buttons in the app, kind of what we've created in our network, because we want to get out as much information as possible to our members. So how we laid it out, how we created it. So this part 2 specifically is we're going to cover the admin platform, the back end of the app, where things are, how it works, and how we use it from an admin perspective. The third part of the series, or the next video that I'll record for you, is going to be how to use the third-party apps for the links that are created in the system. So here in front of you, what you see is the admin dashboard for the app. And the first thing to know is that when you contact Brittney or one of the sales team at CardTap, what they're going to do is they're going to ask you for your Facebook page for your network and your WCR.org microsite. They're going to pull from there all your information for your network. So here you'll see that there's a photo of our current board. There is our local network logo. Our network's mailing address is on here, as well as the WCR mission statement, or the Women's Council mission statement. Those were the basic things that they used to create the app. In addition to that, these buttons down here at the bottom, the home, register, sponsor, and more, we had kind of talked about what we wanted, and so these will be standard. They will come already built out for you because these are buttons that only CardTap can add. You can't do that yourself once it's created. So these were the ones that we set up that we wanted to use. And then your basic buttons inside the app is contact us, share our app. Let's see if I can show you a little bit more here. Request information and about us. So those were the basic buttons in there. As far as the register buttons, all of these we've created ourselves, and I will show you how to do that here in just a minute. And the sponsor as well. All of these we created ourselves. They do put one in there for you, and they just kind of name it, and then you go in and edit it. That's this one that you can see that you can't delete. So the strategic partner opportunities is a button that will always be there. Now you can edit it and change the name, but the button will always be there because there has to be a button on this page in order for the page, this button down here, to stay in place. And then the more button, all of these buttons again are buttons we created. There was one button they created for us to hold the page that we can change and update, and they just simply put the website here, which is a link to your WCR.org / your microsite address. So it all goes right back to WCR.org, the main page. And then all these other ones we created by adding, and again, I'll show you how to do that here in just a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the top. When I recorded part 1 of the video, I told you guys that there are 4 ways to share the app. There's 5 actually. You have the ones that I shared before on the home page. You can share directly from the app, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about that here in a minute. You can share it from here. You can text using the WCR quick text code, which is the best way to do it in large format. So say you're in a big group, you can have everybody take out their phones, and in the phone number area, they're going to type in 36260, and then in the text area, they're going to type in WCR and hit send, and it's going to send them a link to download the app. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then you could also use the QR code, which is over here in resources. You right click, copy, save image as, save it somewhere, and then you can add it all to your marketing material, and then anyone who scans the QR code can download it that way. Then there's also the send app button, so you can send it directly from your dashboard as well. So there's the fifth way to send your app out. Just underneath that is your SMS text messaging queue. So the best part and the reason we decided to start using the app is because we were looking for a platform to get our registration links for our events into the hands of the realtors that typically attend our events and affiliates as quickly as possible, and a way for them to register without having to go look for an email or visit our Facebook page, our, any of those other avenues that just did not seem to be working for us. We had great attendance. We were having roughly 60 in attendance on average, but we wanted to increase those numbers and we're looking for avenues. So text messaging, we all know the world is all tech savvy. Everybody's got their phone in their hands at all times. And so this has proven to be a really great form of communication for us. So this text message platform, you can send out an individual text message to one person, or you can send out a bulk text message. The great part about this app and this platform we're using is that they give you a phone number. And so anytime that phone number sends out a mass text, it's just like it's going to one person. It doesn't look like a mass text. And then that person can then respond directly back to you, and it can be a one-on-one. So it can happen in bulk or it can happen in one-on-one. You send out in bulk, their message can come back to you in one-on-one. On my phone, I simply have Women's Council app as the contact saved for that phone number, and so anytime I get a message back, anytime I send out a message, I get it from that phone number, but anytime I get a message back, it comes back from the individual that I sent it to. So then I just begin texting them one-on-one. So it's really a great way to communicate back and forth. I'm just going to click on one of these here so you can see this is what it looks like when you hit send app or share an app with someone. This is the text message that they get. It does include the link to download your app. If you were to send them a text message to register for an event, let's find one that I've done a couple of times. Here we go. Nope. You will see that you can include links. This was about an event that we came about that didn't have a link in it. So let me just scroll down here. So here's one. So this one went out, and you can see that I sent out this mass text, and it included the link to our registration page. So they can register directly from the text message that they receive from us. It's a great way to communicate back and forth. You can see here that this individual, Shanista, she texted us back. So there's quite a few text messages in the thread here. So I'd sent her something, and she said, "Aw, thanks, cute." So she responded to that text message, and it just came. You can see that I sent it as a bulk, but I got it back as an individual. And she's received a couple more. Now, if people don't want to see the text messages, or they get to where they don't like them, they can simply text stop, and it does stop the text messages, and then it doesn't count in your text message thread. So if I wanted to send out a bulk text message, which is what most of you will be using this for, I just simply check bulk text, and then the text message screen pops up here. There is also a version of this app called Tap Tracker, which is the admin version of the card tap in an app. So I can view this information from my desktop, or I can view it from Tap Tracker on my cell phone, and I can send a bulk SMS from either format. So it's just a really great feature. So you would just simply type in your text message here. They do say that if it's more than 160 characters, they're going to send it out as multiple text messages. In my experience, and as you could see here in the last view, those text messages did have more than 160 characters. Let's see, here's one. You can see that it's more than 160 characters, but it went in one text. So I believe on some devices it might be that way depending on who the carrier is, and on others it's different. So that's just something that you have to play with. But the important thing and the important reason why I'm telling you that is because depending on the plan that you purchased, and we have the basic one, you get 1,000 text messages a month. And so if it breaks it down and sends it in two, and you just sent that to 200 people, that was 400 text messages. I'm not finding that to be the case. Just something to be mindful of and to watch as you start sending text messages out, and how many. If you're sending it to 193 people and it says you used 400, that means it broke those down into two. They do have larger plans if you need larger plans, or you're sending more text messages out per month. But so far, we've been able to manage with the basic 1,000 text messages a month. You do see here that it says that I've sent 0 this month, and it's because it's the 3rd of the month, and so it resets every month. And we're just getting ready to text out for our event that we have coming up next Thursday that we're making virtual because of COVID-19. We're taking all of our platforms virtual, so we will be sending out the registration link for that event through the text message as well. You can see down here, if I want to send to all 193 people that have downloaded our app, I just select all. It will select all of them. I type in my message and I hit send, and it's done. It sends it in about 30 seconds. So you can see here everyone that it's going to send to. It has all the phone numbers and all the information. Now, I'm going to go ahead and click on my reports and tappers. Excuse me. And you'll see here that we currently have this month 193 tappers. 11 of those tappers were referred. So somebody went into the app and shared their app with someone else and referred them. 3 requests have come in, and then we've had a total of 2,082 taps in our app. So what that means is, here's some of our tap activity. New user, Brittney Bourgoin. She's not I just haven't tagged her. So you have the ability to change this. So I can put in here associate, like you can just change the tag just like you can in any CRM or database. We'll make her a family member because she is a WCR member. And so now you can individualize send out text if you wanted to. You can say, I don't want to send this text to all family members, or I want to send this out to all new users. So you can add a tag anytime you want. Now, Penny is just an immediate past president, so she knows a lot about this, but she was in our app today and tapped 7 times. Last tapped today. It records her email and phone number, how she was referred. So she downloaded the app by keyword. So she did the 36260 WCR to 36260 on August the 20th of 2019. So I told you guys before, we launched this app in December, but we got our demo and started working on it as early as August of last year. So that's when she downloaded the app for the first time, and she doesn't have any notes. So down here you can see Brittney Bourgoin, who is the card tap rep that I've been working with. When we set hers up, she just put a test here. Now I want to show you how that works to send a note. So I'm going to go back to our buttons, and right here where it says share our app, I'm going to click on share our app. and not supposed to do something, so I apologize. It's just taking a minute here. Try this way. Okay, share our app. And then you put in, I'm just going to do myself so that you guys can see how it works. And this is just how someone else would share the information. Notice my camera just flickered there. Okay, so I've put in my information to share, and I'm just going to hit share. When you hit share, the person who's sharing it can leave notes for Women's Council. So I'm just going to put test on here so I know that it's me. And then you can tell Women's Council how quickly do they need to respond. So respond right away, soon, or not right now. You're just sharing the app with them. So I can say contact them ASAP, and I know that that's going to share ASAP and hit send. You can also skip that feature if you don't want to put in any notes whatsoever. And then that'll take you to return to the app, and now you've shared that. So now if I go back to Tappers, because I'm the admin, it's probably not going to show that there. But that's where the note comes in. So that's what this note is and how it was created. If you click on referrals, now you can see all of those individuals that were referred over using that feature. So the send app or the refer button is what you would put there. So you can see that Colleen W. was referred. She is the tapper. She was referred by Sunny Byerly today. No, last month. Get my numbers backwards there. And then you can see here, Jennifer Bell was referred by Lisa Coleman, and then she left a note here for us to know by. So this is good information. She says she'd like to also volunteer. So it's a great way to get connected, stay connected, have additional information on individuals that want to get involved with Women's Council. So all of that information is there. Request is the next portion here. Request is if somebody says they need something from you. So like Norma Ramos, this message here. A friend of hers wanted to be a vendor for a spotlight table at our next event, which was on January 23rd. So she sent us this message through the app, which immediately sent me a text message that she had done so as an admin. And you can set up multiple admins to receive that information. And we were able to respond to her and get that information to her right away. So that's what request is. And then total taps will just tell you how many total taps have happened, and then it kind of gives you that breakdown. There's a lot in there, so it's going to take a minute to process. So that's what my reports are. So these are when it was opened and the taps and what they tapped on. So Penny Brockway opened the app today. John Bradley tapped on each one of these things today, just trying to see what was going on. He is an affiliate member, so he's probably looking to see what sponsorship opportunities, obviously, where he can get involved and promote his business. Great way for us as Women's Council members to, get those sponsorships we need in order to pay for things. We've already created a sign-up genius for all of our events for the year so that our strategic partners, our affiliates, whichever you would like to call them, can go in and say, okay, I'm planning my year out. I can look through these events and I can decide what's important to me and what dates work for me, and they can go ahead and commit to those. So it's a great thing to have there. Then under my app, you have build and edit. So you can have your app look any way that you'd like. For instance, we like ours with this blue. We've customized it. However, you can make it black. So you can change that up if you want it to be that way. We like it we like to use the Women's Council blue there. You can change your photo. This icon. You can change this icon. We have it square here because that works better for us, but you could make it circular. And so it would change it up a little bit. This app icon is this one here. So you could, change out your logos if your logo changes. you know, or if there's a change somewhere. So this information, notice that you can change that. Notice that you cannot change this text word. Only CardTap can do that. So that's there. Add your info. So this is where they did it, where they added this information, but note that they've put some special characters in here. So CardTap handles that for you. You can update this information though, and that's this here. This goes here. Your email address, you can update those things. So if they change from year to year, I will talk exclusively in the third part of this series about Gmail and some of the important features about Gmail and how they work with this app. So it's really important to have a Gmail account, in my opinion. I guess you could use other ones. I'm not familiar with those. So you can update all of this stuff as needed right here in this build and edit button. Buttons. Buttons is where your app really comes to life. And all of these buttons are super easy, interchangeable. You can mix them up. Any number of things here with your buttons. So your buttons are housed with these links up here at the top that contain all of these buttons. So you can see home is the home page of the app. Register is all of our registration link pages. Sponsor is all of our sponsor links. And then more contains all of the other stuff that we went through in part 1. Contact dialogue. So if they were to hit on the home page, if they were to come down here and hit request more information or about us or contact us. So if I click this here, it takes you to, I've got to go back to the other one here to make that work. But that's what this is. So then it gives them options. They can text us, and whoever information you put in here is where it's going to be going to. So I'm the president this year. My information is housed in that. So it's going to directly call me or text me. And this email is going to text our Women's Council board. And that way I can gather the information and send it out to a board member. Or you could have this set up as the secretary or, you know, whomever you like to be contacted. It's completely up to you. The president-elect would also be a good person to do it. Just depends on who, you know, is most comfortable with doing it. Also, who, remember, if you go on vacation or do something, you might want to change that out. So you can come here and do all that and edit the information. And then this is a page that CardTap puts on there exclusively, so you don't have to worry with anything there. So underneath each one of these links is the information to put there. So I'm going to play with the registration page just a little bit. We do have an event coming up on April 9th. And we just changed the details of this event today because of the COVID-19. We're not meeting for this event. We've made it virtual. So right now you can see here that the virtual event is, if I click on it, it's going to take you to the event registration page. And right now, this is being done through Constant Contact. So we have it linked to our Constant Contact. Constant Contact gives you a URL, and then you can put that information in. So I can come here, I can put in and hit confirm. And now I've registered for that event. There's actually no payment for that, so I need to go ahead and let them know that that's there, and then it will give you the link to log in for that event. So I need to change some of those details, and so to do that, and I can't do it through here, that needs to be done through Constant Contact. But if we needed to change the URL, so the meeting's actually going to a Zoom meeting, so I would put that link here. And then I would just hit save. Now, once you've done that, see it's an external link. There are multiple different, like you could make it a document. You could make it connect to Calendly. You could do a vCard or a text message. So there's multiple ways that you could put information right here. We're going to leave it as an external link. Once you've created the event, you can come over here and change the icon. Super quick and easy. So you just browse through here and find one you like or that matches. Like, for instance, if you look at our events, I've kind of made some. So Let's Disrupt, I'm using a little gavel there. Wine Not WCR is a recruitment event that we have coming up in May. We have a little martini glass there. So you can kind of see we've made it fun and changed it up and given it a little character. And you can do that with every single one. All of our events that we use are web-based events, not events, but the registration links. So we create the event, we create a flyer just like you guys would any other time, and then we link that event to how we want them to register for it. So if it's PayPal or Eventbrite, all of those are URL links. So you just link it to the URL link that you want them to register to and create that event there. Underneath sponsor, it's the same exact thing. For our sponsorship opportunities, those are all linked to Sign Up Genius. So we've created a Sign Up Genius account, which is free, and we've just simply put the link in there to that Sign Up Genius. To create a new one, let me copy this real quick, it's just so I can show you. Copy. So if I wanted to create a new event, I would just simply hit Add Button, type in what I want to call it. I would type in the link. I'm just going to borrow that link for a minute, and I'm going to hit Save. And you can see now I have this event. So when I click on it, it's going to take me to that event sign up. I'm using the one on previously, so it's not really one, but you get the whatever URL link it is that you want it to refer to. So I just created a new button that's already live and active on my app. Like, I could literally pick it up and show it to you. So it's already there. Now, to delete it, I can delete it, or I can hide it, or I can edit it. I can also change my little icon that I have here. So we can make it this, update it. It automatically updates it in the app, and it's done. So I don't want to hide it because I don't need it, so I'm going to delete it. Now, before I delete it, just to show you guys, now maybe this is something that I want to put up higher because it's a future, or it's an event that's coming up right away. I just simply move it to the top or down. I can put it anywhere that I want it. Okay. Maybe this is an event now that has happened in the past, and I don't want it to show up in my feed anymore. So now I'm going to come through here, and I'm just going to hit delete. Yes, I want to delete this button. Now it's gone. Now I could have just hidden it. If you have an event that happens year after year and you want to keep it in there, you can always update the URL link later, but so you don't have to, I mean, you can see how quick it is to do. But if you didn't want to do that, you could just simply hide it, and it would hide your links. So you do have those options as well. This is something, we have an event that we do every January in our area, and so I didn't want to delete it, so I just hid it. And so you can do that as well. These are super easy to create and move around and customize. So that is on the sponsor page. The register sponsor, just exactly the same. The home page, there was a couple of things that we added, and it's just as easy. The app sponsor button we added, and we did this. So the goal of this is the app costs $799. What our goal is to find a sponsor that wants to pay the $799 for us, or the $800 sponsor is what we're calling it, and they get exclusive link here. So let's just say this was a mortgage company. We would put the mortgage company's name here, and then when you clicked on that, it would take it to a link. So right now, what I've done is when you click on this link, it takes you to a sites page that tells you what you get for that link. So it tells them what they get to be a sponsor for, what it costs, and what happens. But when we do get a sponsor for the app, so this could essentially cost your network nothing. And that's what you want it to do. It's just going to take the work on somebody on your team, and it could be a chair position to make sure that the app stays updated, because after every event, you'll go in and clean it up, take out the old and add new if you need to. Our goal was to have everything in for the whole year. so that everybody could see what was happening in our network for the whole year. And so that's what that app sponsor would be good for. And that back end page that you saw, this is a sites page, which I'll show you how to build and create in step 3, or in the third part of the series. So I'm going to come back here. So that one we created. Our upcoming events page is also a sites page. And so if there's other pages that you need, you're going to have to create them in a third-party platform. Heidi Hayes and I, Heidi Hayes is my president-elect, played around for a few days with multiple different apps. We did WordPress, we did, we tried to use Constant Contact. We used several different options to really play with it, and we found that Google Sites really came down to be the best form. With Google Sites, we're able to create any type of a web page we want for free, and it's very easy, quick play, quick click and play to build something. So you can see here, this is our event registration page, which is this button, our upcoming events. And it houses all of the information for all of our events. So this was our March events that we postponed, which is why I haven't moved it yet. We do need to come in here and type postponed. However, these links are clickable. We do have a notice right here that you'll see. It says Apple devices. Apple is the only company, because they like to be special, and I'm a very avid iPhone user. But for some reason, when you are in the app and you click on a link, if it's already taken you to one link, it won't take you out of that link to a second link. It's a feature that only Apple has. So the workaround for that is they have to go back out of the page and go to the registration button in the app to register. And so that's what this says. That's what they're telling them to do. However, if you are on a web browser like I am right now on my desktop, or if you're using an Android device, these links do work on the sites pages. So you can simply click on it and get right to the information. We're able to put all of our sponsor information for all of our events. And again, I will show you how to do all of this. This is our event we have coming up next Thursday. It is happening virtual. So we just got that information here about an hour ago. So I'm going to be going in and updating that later this evening. So all of our events for the entire year, we wanted to make sure we had all of that information up there. So we created that. Join Women's Council. If I click this, it's going to take them to the WCR.org sites page, or WCR.org registration page to join as a Realtor member. So now your potential Realtor members can join directly from your app. Meet our partners. This is super important. It provided us a way to get our partners. So the difference for us between a strategic partner and an affiliate, and really they're the same. Strategic partner and affiliate are the same. The difference is our partners are those that sign up to be registered with us for the whole year. They are, they come in here and they pay the larger fees to get different things, and I can show you where we break down those levels and their information gets put here. Notice that we've placed the information here, like obviously our platinum member, they have their logo, their independent consultant, their phone numbers, email addresses, but as if they don't pay as much, or if they join at a lower level, let me put it that way, their information is not as much here. So you can see that as the levels go down, there's less information available. And then our basic just members, we don't even put contact information. We just put their logos down there. So you can take a look at ours. You can make yours look any way that you want. So that's what we use, but you can change these around, and just notice that all of these are URLs. So that's all your settings there. Same thing with the more, because we've already kind of been through register and sponsor. All of these link back to a website or a page. So you guys could download our app, play around with it, mimic it, you know, copy and paste. We're completely open to helping you guys with anything that you need. What we found is these are the best ways for us to get information into our memberships' hands. Memberships, local realtor community, our strategic partners and affiliates that are out there. So that's buttons. Registration. This is what we require with a registration. So when somebody see how it says required, when you share that information, when a person, so say I shared it earlier to myself, when I go to register, I am now required to give, when I get that app and I open it and I install it on my device, I want name, phone number, and email address. We learned this by trial and error. Originally, we didn't do email addresses. We just had name and phone number. Or maybe it was the opposite. Maybe it was name and email address and we weren't getting everyone's phone number. I can't remember. I apologize. However, we now require all three so that we have that information to put in our database. So we kind of learned that the hard way. So that's what that button is. Mobile marketing settings. This is set up for you through CardTap. There's nothing that you need to do with it. But basically, this is when somebody texts the app or gets the app on their phone, it gets text to them. This is how it reads. We went over resources earlier with the QR code and the documents. And then there's really nothing under locations information. Just other where your business is. So that is the admin portal in the background. Hopefully that was great information for all of you. And if you guys need any help, feel free to reach out to me. My direct cell phone number, and I will put all my contact information in the YouTube description at the bottom of this link. So hopefully that'll help. I hope you enjoyed part 2 of this 3-part series, and I'm going to go ahead and record part 3 now. So hopefully you guys will be able to see how I use the sites and build those pages, and you'll stick around. And then I will also include in the description how to get in contact with Brittney Bourgoin at CardTap if you'd like to purchase your own app for your network. Remember, it does have to be approved by your board because it is an expenditure, unless you are able to get a sponsor, and then you still have to make sure those funds are approved by your board to do. But we have found that this has been a phenomenal use of our funds here at the Houston Bay Area Network here in Texas. So thanks for tuning in. I'll see you shortly.